Yeah, so when you're transporting long lengths of timber, i.e. 4 metres-ish, actually that's 3.8 metres, it's 12 foot roundabout in the old Imperial, and 3.8 metres in the metric. You can see there as you're looking down the side of the car, it isn't actually sticking out any further than the wing mirror, which means it's okay to transport it like that, as long as it's not sticking out too far beyond the back of the car. You'll get away with that with the bobbies. So in a Peugeot 307, a 2003 reg Peugeot 307, you can get them in. And what you do is you slide them down, open the back window, slide them down into the footwell, side by side, and there you go. It's not sticking out too far from the side of the car. What you don't do is you have them pointing forwards, because then you'll be jousting with the oncoming traffic. But that's okay, that's fine. People will sort of be, if anybody did get hit by that, it would just slide them off. You know what I mean? A cyclist or something. You just got to be very careful, obviously, when you're driving around with something sticking out the back of your car. But yeah, there you go. We're off up to the plots anyway. Hello and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm. This is part 5, I believe, of the hoop tent build. The door that we got, which was the reclaim door, has been nailed shut, and it's buggered it up really. It's all cracked where the let me just show you. That's all cracked. Now when you try and open it and try and prise it open, it's busted. The lock's busted. So it's buggered really. It's a shame. But the only cure for that is actually building a door and creating a new door. That we're going to do that today, and we're going to put a door on there. So it's just a netted 2x1 timber frame door that we're going to put on. Got some timbers there. Because this stands proud from the uprights, there's your uprights, and the base stands proud, it does lean a little bit that way because of where it's fixed at the top, the way it's fixed at the top. So it's leaning at a little bit of an angle that way. Not that much of an angle, but a bit of an angle going that way. So we're better off to put the door on the outside so that gravity keeps it partially shut anyway because of the angle, and then we can open and shut like that. Open outwards like that, which is what we're going to do. So I'm going to make a door and we're going to put it on. Alright? So before I fix that door in, I'm just going to finish up on the netting. As you can see there at the front, I've almost completed it. Stapling it to the uprights and the base, whilst zip tying round onto the frame, and carry on doing that, adjusting as we go, keeping that tension until it's all zipped in and stapled in, and then I'll show you the next phase, the next stage. See you in a bit. So it's all netted, the end is netted up, and the frame is in for the door. I've had to bring it forward just a little bit on the timbers by putting some more 2x1 in, because of the skirt around the bottom standing proud from the upright 2x2s. So I've done that, and now it's ready for a door going on. So the next step obviously is to put a door on it. And what you're looking at there are the components for the door that we're going to fit. Now I've measured it. It's 6 feet high, the door. That's how high it's going to be. So the timbers there are cut to 6 feet, and it's 28.5 inches, the aperture. So what I've done is I've made it so as it's going to be 28.25 inches. So we have got a little bit of play when we actually fit it into the aperture. Behind the aperture there are door closers, So don't worry, there won't be any gaps down the sides of the door. I'll show you that in a minute. But essentially what we've got there, we've got 5 that are going across the span of the door. 5 of those, I mean those ones are the metric ones. That's the end ones are actual imperial 2x2 by 1 inch. Sorry, 2 by 1. 2 inches in width by 1 inch in depth, they are. And they're 24¼ inches. The reason they're 24¼ inches is because the long sections are 2 inches wide, which comes to 28¼ and the aperture, as I said, is 28½, or just short of 28½ inches. So that should fit quite neatly, hopefully, fingers crossed, into that aperture, into that door aperture. But I'll test it before I put the netting on, and if there's any adjustments that do need to be made, I can make them then. Okay. Now all that remains for that is it's got to be screwed together. It's all going to be screwed together, which I'll do next. Yep, so all that's been screwed together now. As you can see. And it's ready to go on. The hinges are all set. And it's just a matter now of getting the actual door and fixing the door onto the fat little screws is what you want for that. Fat 1 inch screws. And they should hold it. So well, let's give it a whirl. Alright. And she's on. And I quite like it. I quite like that. It's fitting quite snugly actually, that. There's the join. At both sides. Now behind that, there's this, which when the door shuts, it meets that, and so there's no hole, no gap for the creepy crawlies to get in. All that remains to do now is to net that, so we're going to have to net that up. That's the next job. And then put some closers on it, keep it shut. The jobs are good. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and Billy's your red-haired cousin, isn't he? Superb. Snip the tails off as well. And there it is, the full, complete metal frame and timber-based, timber-doored, netted hoop house to grow vegetables in, especially brassicas. I think it looks ace. All that remains to do is where the gaps are around the bottom. You can fill those in with timber, but what we're going to be doing instead is building sectioned beds off from that, timber beds off from that, just filling it all up with soil, so the soil will fill all of those gaps around the bottom. There'll be a door plate on the inside going in there, a closer on the bottom, so nothing can creep underneath. With the tiddly hand, can creep underneath there. And mate, Bob's your uncle. So yeah, I've put the netting on, and I've snipped the tails off, and I've put the door closers on, and I found a handle as well when I was mooching about. I found that handle. Give it a bit of a clean up later. This is yet to be painted, but I might leave that for the time being. So these are the closers. You can turn it that way actually, isn't it? It's opened up now. Bear with me one moment, boys and girls. Yeah, so that's all opened up. It closes quite snugly, which is good. And well, boys and girls, I think it looks tremendous. All that remains, as I say, is we're going to be putting raised beds inside that. But what you do for that is simple, really simple. Just come off from the inside of this with some more of your planking timber. Measure out what that gap is. That's exactly a metre, that gap, from the end face there to that post is a metre, or 3'6", and then that comes out, and then I've measured 3'6" away from there and put another stave in there, and that's where that first bed's going to go. So it's going to be sort of a C-shaped bed going from there to there, along the back, coming away a metre, and down there. Okay, so it's a 4 metre in length bed, and that'll be just short of 3 metres, because that's 9 feet, isn't it? That way, and then another 4 metres going down that way. So if you say, instead of saying 4 metres, if you say it's just over 12 feet, if you're using the Mel Bartholomew method, just over 12 feet by 3 feet, which gives you 36 square feet. And across the back, you've got 18 square feet, and then another 36 down here. So there's plenty of square footage that we're going to be having in here for growing our brassicas in. Our Romanesque and Calabrese. And all sorts are going to be growing in here this year. I've got some more news for you as well, and it's tremendous news, but I'm going to save that for the next episode, because I want to have the hoop tent as a separate entity, really, from any other uploads. I say all I'll need to do now is just trim off on the insides, just trim off any excess that's on the inside there. Trimmed it off on that side already, and that's it. It's done and dusted. So yeah, let's see if we can get a nicer picture of it. There's the tiki hut. So that's how it looks from the yin side, That's how it looks from the lane side. And that's how it looks when you're standing underneath the apple tree by the compost heaps on the yang side. Superb, isn't it? I think it is. I think it's brilliant. Considering we did it all from sort of scratch, really. That. Certainly not a kit, that. And we've knocked that together. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little mini-series on how to do a netted hoop house. I've enjoyed doing it with you. It has been a bit of an epic. I know I think it's over 5 or 6 episodes, this. But what I will be doing is editing it a bit more and then putting it together as a one-hit video. I'll just shut that door, give you the effect again. Okay, the finished article. That's how it looks. Great. I like it. So yeah, complete. If you're not already a subscriber to the Little Farmer's Farm and you do like what we're doing, please join us. Subscribe, comment, like, ring our bell. The channel is full of all kinds of little growing tips and building tips and creating allotment buildings like that. You'll see construction of greenhouses, polytunnels, hoop nets like that. The guy's looking over the wall at me thinking I'm a madman. It's not too far from the truth. And how to do raised beds, sectioned beds, and all that kind of thing. Anything really that we need to do to make the plot a success, we'll share with you, and that way you can share with us, and we'll all get better at growing and better at sustainability, which is what it's all about. Alright, so we'll see you next time on the Little Farmer's Farm. I'll be uploading this tonight. Tonight is the 19th, is it? Saturday the 19th of January 2019. I'm Big Daddy Farmer, and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm. See you all later. Have a great weekend. Love it, that. Absolutely love it.